Ethan Walker stared at his screens in disbelief as red alerts flashed relentlessly across every monitor. 15 years of building Walker core systems were vanishing in real time. Millions of dollars erased, investor confidence collapsing, and the most important merger of his life hanging by a thread. He had no plan, no backup, and no hope. Until a night janitor appeared quietly in his office, calm as if nothing were happening. In minutes, she would challenge everything he thought he knew, uncover a betrayal from within, and change the fate of his company forever. Would he trust her and survive the night? At 11:27 p.m., the lights of Manhattan glowed like a promise Ethan Walker no longer believed in. From the 42nd floor of Walker Core Systems headquarters, he watched red warnings flood his screens one by one. System breach detected, backup corrupted, accounts frozen, market confidence collapsing. Each alert felt less like data and more like a pulse slowly fading. 15 years. That was how long it had taken Ethan to build Walker Core from a rented garage and a second-hand server into one of the most respected cybersecurity and cloud infrastructure firms in America. 15 years of sleeping on office couches. 15 years of choosing meetings over holidays. 15 years of convincing himself that once he reached the top, he would finally be able to breathe. Tonight, everything he had built was being erased in real time. The most important merger of his life was scheduled for dawn, a deal that would secure the company's future and the livelihoods of thousands of employees. Now investors were calling nonstop. His technical directors were silent. His legal team had stopped making promises and started using words like damage control. Ethan loosened his tie and leaned forward with both hands on his desk. He did not yell. He did not curse. He simply stared at the screens with the hollow calm of a man watching his house burn while holding a glass of water too small to matter. He had already sent everyone home. He could not stand the looks in their eyes, the fear, the waiting for him to have an answer. Because for the first time in his career, Ethan Walker did not have one. At exactly 11:30 p.m., he heard the sound of wheels moving slowly across the marble floor outside his office. Soft, unhurried, completely out of rhythm with the disaster unfolding behind glass walls. Ethan lifted his head. A woman in a navy blue cleaning uniform was pushing a janitorial cart down the corridor. She moved carefully between cubicles, wiping desks as if this were any other night. As if the financial heart of the company were not flatlining 20 feet away. He exhaled sharply. He had forgotten about the night cleaning crew. The woman stopped when she reached his office. Through the glass, she saw him standing there, unmoving, tie-loose jacket, off eyes bloodshot. She hesitated, then tapped gently on the door. The sound startled him more than any alarm. Ethan looked at her, confused, irritated, and exhausted all at once. He gave a short nod. She opened the door just enough to speak. "Sorry to bother you," she said softly. "I just wanted to ask if you're okay." The question caught him off guard. "Okay," he let out a short, humorless laugh. "That depends on how you define okay. My company is collapsing and there is nothing anyone can do to stop it." She did not flinch, did not apologize, did not step back. Instead, she walked closer and glanced at the screens. "This is a coordinated attack," she said quietly. "Not random, not sloppy." Ethan turned slowly to look at her. His irritation spiked. He had spent the last 6 hours surrounded by the best engineers money could buy, and none of them had managed to stop what was happening. And now the janitor was analyzing his crisis. "You should probably finish your shift," he said flatly. "Tonight is not a good time." She met his gaze without offense. "My name is Maya Collins," she said, "and I think I can help you." Something in her voice stopped him. It was not arrogance, it was certainty. Ethan studied her more closely. She looked to be in her early 30s, brown hair tied back, no makeup, tired eyes but steady hands. The kind of person who had learned to stay calm when things went wrong. "You can help me how?" he asked. "By looking at what everyone else already decided was hopeless?" she replied. Against his better judgment, he laughed again. "My entire cybersecurity division failed to contain this attack." Sometimes, she said, the people closest to a problem stopped seeing it clearly. He should have dismissed her. He should have called security. He should have gone back to watching his company bleed out on silent screens. Instead, he stepped aside. 5 minutes, he said. "That is all." Maya set her card outside and approached the main terminal. She did not hesitate. Her fingers moved across the keyboard with practiced speed, opening directories, bypassing locked layers, checking network paths Ethan had not known existed. His skepticism faded into disbelief. "You know our architecture," he said quietly. "I used to design systems like this," she replied without looking up. She pulled up a set of logs and frowned. "They assumed all your backups were synced to the live network," she said. "That was their mistake." Ethan leaned forward. "We decommissioned our legacy servers years ago." "You archived them," she corrected, "and you never reconnected them." She turned the screen toward him. There they were, Old machines buried in the system, forgotten by everyone except the woman standing at his desk in a cleaning uniform. If those servers are intact, she said, we can restore everything. But we need full access and several uninterrupted hours. Ethan felt something he had not felt all night. Hope. Who are you really, he asked. Maya paused, then answered simply. I was a senior cybersecurity engineer. I left the field to take care of my family. This job pays the bills and gives me flexible hours. Ethan swallowed. He thought of the hundreds of resumes he had rejected over the years without reading past the first page. You can use anything you need, he said. You have full access. She finally looked at him. When this works, she said, do not forget who helped you. I will not, he replied. They descended together into the server level deep beneath the building. The air was cold and dry, humming with machines that had outlived their relevance until tonight. For 6 hours, Maya worked without stopping. She rebuilt pathways, rerouted traffic, and restored data line by line, while Ethan watched and listened and learned. At 6:42 a.m., the final alert disappeared. Network restored successfully. Ethan sank into a chair. You did not just save my company, he said hoarsely. You gave it a second life. Maya leaned back, exhausted but smiling. What does not break us, she said quietly, often reveals what we were missing. When the employees arrived that morning, they found Ethan Walker standing in the break room, pouring coffee for a woman they had never noticed before. And when the board meeting began an hour later, Ethan introduced Maya Collins, not as a cleaner, but as the new head of cybersecurity. Some were shocked, some were skeptical, but no one argued with the results. As the meeting ended, Maya caught Ethan watching her. This is not over, she said softly. That attack was too precise. Someone inside helped them. Ethan nodded. I was hoping you would say I was wrong. She did not smile. If you were watching your company fall apart tonight and someone invisible saved it at the last possible second, would you want to know who tried to destroy it from within? He met her eyes. Yes, he said, without hesitation. If you were Ethan, would you trust the woman no one saw to uncover the truth, yes or no? The building felt different after that night. Walker Core Systems no longer hummed with blind confidence. It breathed more carefully, as if the walls themselves remembered how close everything had come to collapse. People walked faster. Conversations lowered when Maya Collins passed by. Some faces carried gratitude. Others carried something sharper, suspicion. Maya noticed all of it. She moved into her temporary office on the 41st floor with a single box and an old laptop she trusted more than any new machine. Ethan had insisted on giving her a full team, but she refused at first. Too many eyes too soon, she said. She needed to understand the system before anyone else touched it again. Ethan let her work her way. Every evening after most employees left, he found himself stopping by her office. At first it was practical, questions about timelines, risk assessments, reports for the board. But gradually the conversations drifted. About why she had left her old career, about how he had lost friends building Walker Core and never noticed when it happened. There was no flirting, no promises, just two people standing in the quiet aftermath of disaster, realizing how rare it was to speak without pretending. On the fourth night, Maya finally spoke the words Ethan had been expecting. This was not an outside job. He did not interrupt her. The attack knew internal protocols, she continued. It anticipated our responses. It bypassed systems that only senior staff have access to. You think someone here wanted us to fail, he said. I think someone here wanted us desperate, she replied. Desperate companies sell cheap. Ethan leaned back slowly. His mind began replaying meetings from the last year. Subtle disagreements, budget disputes, strategic delays he had dismissed as caution. Who has access to everything, he asked. Very few, Maya said. You, me now. And 3 executives. She paused before saying the last name. Logan Pierce. Ethan stiffened. Logan was his chief technology officer. He had been with Walker Core for nearly a decade. Brilliant, charismatic, the man Ethan trusted to challenge him when no one else would. Logan helped build this place, Ethan said quietly. So did you, Maya replied, and someone still tried to burn it down. They did not accuse him, not yet. Maya insisted on evidence, real proof, something that could not be explained away by coincidence or panic. She began tracing encrypted activity buried deep in the network, patterns that appeared only after midnight, communications routed through layers of misdirection so complex they were almost elegant. Whoever did this knew exactly how to hide. One night, Ethan stayed later than usual. He was walking past Maya's office when he saw her frozen in front of her screen. She did not notice him at first. When she did, she closed the window instinctively, then reopened it. I found something, she said. On the screen were access logs tied to an executive clearance level, time stamped during the attack, then again the following night, and again 2 nights after that. Always after midnight, always careful. That is not enough to accuse someone, Ethan said. I know, Maya replied, but it is enough to confirm this was not a one-time act. That night, Maya received an anonymous message on her phone. "Stop digging." That was all it said. No threat, no name, just certainty. She did not tell Ethan right away. She wanted to be sure. But the next morning, she found a tracking device attached beneath her car. Small, cheap, effective. She walked straight into Ethan's office and placed it on his desk. "Someone is watching me," she said calmly. Ethan felt something cold and unfamiliar rise in his chest. "This stops now," he said. "I am calling security." "If you do that, they will disappear," Maya replied. "Whoever this is, they are testing boundaries. If we move too fast, they will vanish with the rest of the evidence." "Then what do you suggest?" he asked. "A trap." She laid out the plan with surgical precision. A false data cluster seeded into the system. Valuable enough to attract attention. Invisible to anyone without the right clearance. If accessed, it would reroute all traffic to a mirrored environment where every move would be recorded. If they bite, Maya said, we will know who they are and who they are working for. Ethan studied her, not just her plan, but her composure. She was afraid. He could see it in the tightness of her jaw, but fear had not slowed her. "Do you trust me?" he asked quietly. She looked at him. "I already do." They waited. The following nights passed in tense silence. The office lights dimmed. The city outside pulsed with life, unaware of the quiet war unfolding above it. On the sixth night, Maya's screen flickered. Someone had taken the bait. She straightened instantly, fingers moving fast, eyes sharp. "They are inside," she whispered. Ethan stood behind her. His heart pounded harder with each line of code appearing on the screen. Access requests, data extraction, a clean professional intrusion. Then the name appeared. Logan Pierce. Ethan felt the room tilt. "No," Maya said quickly. "Look deeper." She traced the credentials. Something was off. The access originated from Logan's account, but the metadata revealed an anomaly. A secondary authentication key tied to an offshore consulting firm. "They are using him or working with him," she said. "Either way, this is bigger than Walker Corp." Ethan closed his eyes briefly. Logan had been pushing for a merger for months, arguing the company needed external backing. Ethan had resisted, insisting they could grow independently. If Logan believed the only way forward was selling the company piece by piece, then betrayal would feel like justification. The system chimed again. More data transferred. Maya captured everything. "That is enough," Ethan said. "We have proof." "Enough to confront him," she replied. "Not enough to protect the company if we do it wrong." "Then tell me what to do," he said. She turned to face him fully. "Trust me again." The confrontation happened the next morning. Logan walked into the executive conference room, confident as always. Coffee in hand, easy smile, until Ethan locked the door. "We need to talk," Ethan said. Logan's smile faded. Maya placed the tablet on the table and slid it forward. "Explain this," she said. Logan stared at the screen. At first he laughed. "You are accusing me of sabotage," he scoffed. "No," Maya replied. "We are asking you to explain your access to offshore accounts and data transfers routed through your credentials." The color drained from his face. He tried denial, then deflection, then anger. "You do not understand what I was trying to do," he said finally. "Walker Corp was stagnating. You refused to see it. I was positioning us for survival. By destroying us," Ethan said. "By forcing a sale," Logan snapped. "By making investors panic enough to accept reality." Silence filled the room. "You risked thousands of jobs," Ethan said quietly. Logan looked away. Security escorted him out an hour later, but the victory felt incomplete. Maya stared at the captured data long after Logan was gone. "This does not end with him," she said. He was not acting alone. Ethan nodded slowly. Outside the office, the company continued moving. Meetings resumed. Stock stabilized. The press never learned how close everything had come to ruin. But inside Walker Corp, something had shifted. Maya was no longer invisible, and Ethan no longer trusted easily. That evening, as they stood by the window overlooking the city, Ethan spoke without looking at her. "If you had not been here that night," he said, "I would have lost everything." Maya answered softly. "If you had not opened that door, I would still be invisible." They stood in silence, not touching, but connected by the weight of what they had uncovered. As the city lights flickered below them, one question lingered between them, unspoken. When the greatest threat comes from someone you once trusted most, can anything ever feel safe again? Do you think Ethan is ready to face what comes next, yes or no? By the time the dust settled, Walker Corp Systems was stronger than ever. The crisis had stripped away complacency, exposing weaknesses but also revealing resilience that Ethan had never fully appreciated until now. Maya Collins, once invisible in the corner of the office corridors, now commanded respect not just for her knowledge, but for the courage she displayed in the darkest hours. Ethan stood in the main conference room, watching employees move with renewed purpose. The air was alive with energy. The nervous whispers and sideways glances from the week before had been replaced with open discussions, collaboration, and even laughter. Contracts that had stalled now moved forward, investors expressed confidence, and the media reported on Walker Corp's remarkable recovery without ever knowing the near collapse that had been averted. Maya sat at the head of her new security operations center, monitoring the network with precision and calm. Ethan approached, carrying 2 cups of coffee. He handed her one and leaned casually against the doorway. She didn't look up immediately, her eyes scanning lines of code and access logs, but she smiled faintly when she noticed him. "You've done more than save the company," Ethan said softly. "You've saved my faith in people." Maya finally looked up. "I didn't do it for that," she replied. "I did it because it was the right thing to do, because someone had to act when no one else would." Her voice carried both humility and quiet pride. Ethan smiled, thinking how little he had known just hours before about the person behind the cleaning uniform. Now he saw her differently, not just as an employee, not just as a brilliant engineer, but as someone who had changed the course of his life. He realized that leadership wasn't about orders or control. It was about recognizing and trusting the people around you, sometimes when it felt most impossible to do so. Over the following weeks, the company celebrated quietly, acknowledging the internal restructuring and reinforced security protocols. But Ethan knew that the real victory wasn't in the numbers or the headlines. It was in the people. Maya, the team, and the renewed spirit that had been reignited. The board recognized her openly now, introducing her as the head of cybersecurity in the first official meeting after the crisis, with Ethan personally vouching for her expertise and judgment. Applause filled the room, a mix of admiration and surprise. But Maya kept her gaze calm, letting the moment pass without arrogance. She had never sought recognition. She only sought the chance to make a difference. One afternoon, as the sun dipped behind the skyscrapers and painted the city in gold and orange hues, Ethan invited Maya to walk along the waterfront. The streets glistened from an earlier rain. The reflections of city lights shimmered across the pavement, mirroring the quiet intensity between them. They walked side by side, neither speaking at first, simply absorbing the calm after the storm. The chaos of the past weeks, the betrayals, the near loss, had left a silence that was comfortable rather than empty. "You know," Ethan said, finally breaking the quiet, "I never imagined that the person who would save everything would also remind me of why I started." He glanced at her. "And maybe why I need to start living again, not just running a company." Maya looked up and laughed softly. "Is that supposed to be my job too?" she teased. "Maybe not," he said, smiling. "But you've already done it without even trying." They reached a small overlook, the city stretching endlessly before them. Ethan turned to her and spoke more seriously. "I want you to know, none of this, the company, the recovery, the victories, would have mattered as much if you hadn't been part of it." Maya's smile softened. "I stayed because I could make a difference," she said, "not because I expected anything in return." Ethan took a deep breath, feeling the weight of everything that had transpired. "And yet here we are," he said, "because you did the right thing, and I trusted you." The wind carried a faint chill, but neither of them noticed. They stood there together, silent, realizing that the bond forged through crisis had reshaped their lives. It was more than gratitude. It was respect, trust, and a shared sense of purpose. Weeks later, a formal recognition event was held at the headquarters. Ethan addressed the staff with a calm authority that reflected both humility and confidence. He spoke of trust, courage, and integrity, emphasizing that the real strength of Walker Corp wasn't in its technology or assets, but in the people willing to step forward when everything seemed lost. Every eye turned to Maya when he mentioned her by name, acknowledging her courage, insight, and steadfastness. The applause that followed was thunderous, but she remained composed, letting the acknowledgement settle quietly, a testament to her character. As the night drew to a close, Ethan and Maya stepped outside together, the city lights reflecting off wet streets. Ethan glanced at her and said, "I never thought losing everything could teach me so much about what really matters." Maya smiled, brushing a strand of hair from her face. "Sometimes the greatest miracles come from the people who refuse to give up, even when no one is watching." They walked in silence for a few moments, letting the sound of the city accompany them, a gentle reminder that life goes on, and with it, opportunities for trust, courage, and new beginnings. Ethan looked down at her with a newfound clarity. "I want you by my side, not just at work, but in everything from now on. You changed the company, and you changed me." Maya paused, considering him. Then she nodded. "I've already made that choice once. I'd make it again." They walked together into the night, the rain lightly pattering around them. Both knew that what had begun as a crisis had ended as a chance to rebuild not just a company, but their lives, stronger and more connected than ever. A new chapter had begun, shaped not by fear or loss, but by loyalty, courage, and the human connections that endure when the world seems to fall apart. Now, viewers, we want to hear from you. After watching Ethan and Maya face near total collapse and emerge stronger together, do you believe that trust and courage can truly change the course of someone's life? Yes or no? Comment below and tell us which country you're watching from. And if you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the bell next to the subscribe button to receive notifications for our latest videos. Share this story with friends who need a reminder that sometimes the smallest acts of bravery make the biggest difference.